Hello, my name is Caroline Gibson. I'm the Programme Leader for the BSc Paramedic Science programme here at Queen Margaret University. Thank you very much for your interest in this programme, and I hope you find this short presentation is helpful in helping you to navigate the application process. The BSc Paramedic Science programme at Queen Margaret University sits within the Division of Nursing. We also work closely with the Division of Occupational Therapy and Arts Therapies. So it is a truly interprofessional learning and workplace. We're led by our Head of Division, Professor Brendan McCormack, who is a researcher and theorist in personhood and person-centred practice. We have shared values within our division. We promote human flourishing, and our shared values involve belonging, connecting, supporting, and trusting. We strive at all times to create a person-centred culture that enables healthful relationships between all the team members. And that starts with ourselves and our students. And we hope to develop these with our colleagues in practice so we can set up strong relationships with the persons and families for whom you will eventually provide care. Being a paramedic is a protected profession, and that means in order to work and call yourself a paramedic, you have to be registered with the appropriate regulatory body. That is the Health and Care Professions Council, HCPC. So our programme is a 3-year programme that has been approved by HCPC and leads to the successful graduates being able to apply for registration as a paramedic. Once you're registered as a paramedic, that means you'll be able to work as a paramedic with Scottish Ambulance Service or other employer in that role. The entry requirements for the programme depend on where you're studying. We're looking for Scottish candidates to have 4 hires, ideally 4 hires at B grade. For those studying A-levels, we're looking for a B and 2 Cs, and for Irish Leaving Certificates, we're looking for H3 and above in 4 subjects. It's important, if you apply for the BSc Paramedic Science, to have biology or human biology, and ideally a second science at National 5 or GCSE level. The discursive subject could be something like English, history, or modern studies, something that demonstrates that you are able to write essays and construct argument. And also, because of the nature of the paramedic science programme, it's important that you have a pass in mathematics at a minimum of National 5 or GCSE level. That's because of the nature of the paramedic role, which involves administering medication. The role of the paramedic is broad and diverse, and now is a very exciting time to become a paramedic. From 2020, all paramedics who register with the HCPC will be required to have a degree. So by studying with us at Queen Margaret University, you will be well prepared for this requirement. Paramedics have been traditionally associated with work in acute trauma and also in patient transport. But increasingly the role of the paramedic is diversifying to have expertise in the support of people with long-term conditions, those with mental health issues, and to support the health and well-being of the population in health improvement methods. In addition, the role of the paramedic has great potential for further development. GPs are now working increasingly with paramedics to help support people at home and to be assessed at home, and paramedics are also working with occupational therapists to help support people who are at risk of falling. So now is a really exciting time to become a paramedic. I've mentioned before that our programme is approved by HCPC, but our programme is also informed by the requirements for curriculum by the College of Paramedics, which is the professional body for paramedics. Our programme includes all of the elements here you can see on the curriculum wheel, and our modules are mapped to the standards of proficiency set by the HCPC. In first year, there are 6 modules. There are 3 core modules that will repeat throughout each of the 3 years of the programme. These are modules to do with clinical assessment and decision making. These are modules to help you learn about skills that will enable you to undertake the skills and competencies required of a paramedic, and also modules in which you have an opportunity to go into the practice environment and work supported by a practice educator and learn how to become a paramedic. In addition to those 3 modules, you will in first year undertake a physiology module, which will help you to learn about the workings of the body and relate that to the assessments that you are making. Finding your academic voice, which introduces you to the evidence that underpins your practice and how to ascertain whether that is trustworthy evidence or not. And finally, in first year, because we recognise that being a health professional is hard and demanding work, the module Developing Resilience of Self and Others for Professional Paramedic Practice helps you not only develop the knowledge and skills to care for others, but also to care for yourself. In year 2, the challenge will increase slightly. You will have 3 core paramedic modules again. In this case, we will ask you to start increasingly using your assessment and clinical decision making in paramedic practice, and that will extend to learning how to diagnose issues in the people that you come across. We will also have a module about skills for paramedic practice, where you will increase your repertoire of clinical skills and proficiency, and also have opportunities throughout the year to be able to take part in practice-based learning. 3 shared modules that you will encounter this year will be pharmacology, which will help introduce the actions and side effects of medication, which will become increasingly important as a registered paramedic does administer medications. But also, following registration, there will be opportunities for paramedics to become independent and supplementary prescribers. This module helps to prepare you for taking on and learning about that role following qualification. Behaviour Change module enables you to work with other students in health science and start to think about the ways that we can positively impact on people's behaviours, challenge unhealthy behaviours and help people to make improvements. And finally, developing a spirit of inquiry will extend your skills of understanding and appraising evidence and the evidence on which you base your practice. Moving on to third year now, in third year of the programme we have 5 modules. This will begin with a double module using clinical decision making in complex situations, where we'll introduce the role of the paramedic in major incidents, but also in caring for people who have complex presentations, for example those who are homeless or live in challenging situations. In addition, there'll be an opportunity to work with students from nursing to develop skills of leadership and facilitation in the module Being a Person-Centred Practitioner. We will take your knowledge of evidence and research further in the module Understanding and Appraising Evidence for Practice. And finally, you will be able to develop skills within the simulated setting in the university and then increasingly practice autonomously in your clinical practice in Practice-Based Learning 3. Students on our programme will have an opportunity to work in the practice setting with practice educators. Queen Margaret University will send their students to clinical practice areas within Edinburgh, the Lothian and Borders. Paramedics are very practical professionals, and to support that at Queen Margaret University we have a wide range of clinical simulation facilities to help you to develop the skills and competencies required for the role. As you can see here, we have a community domicile simulation suite which enables paramedic learners to rehearse the kinds of scenarios that they might encounter in people's own homes. We also have some clinical facilities where you will encounter new equipment which you will develop proficiency in managing in practice. We also cover important communication skills. Here in this slide you can see one of our expert facilitators teaching British Sign Language, and we hope to be able to introduce sign language to all our paramedic students, particularly for those who are unable to hear. When they encounter a health professional at a time of vulnerability, being able to use sign language can really enhance communication and the effectiveness of the interaction. One of the innovations within the BSc Paramedic Science programme is the development of virtual reality as a learning experience. Some scenarios are very difficult to recreate in a simulation setting. However, we're working with a local company who will use virtual reality to set up realistic scenarios to help expose paramedic learners to a range of learning experiences. Over the programme, we'll be able to increase the level of challenge and expose paramedics to different and perhaps dangerous scenarios which may be difficult or impossible to recreate. This company has worked with a wide range of people already, including St Columba's Hospice and other care settings, and has been able to incorporate virtual reality into direct client care. So we're very excited about the opportunities that virtual reality will offer us within this programme. It's very important to us at Queen Margaret University to get feedback from our learners about their experiences in studying with us. Here we have some very positive feedback from one of our final year nursing students. They thoroughly appreciated the skills learning that they engaged in during their programme. If you do apply to the BSc Paramedic Science programme at Queen Margaret University, you will be required to fill out a supporting statement on your UCAS form. It's important for you to tell us about your experiences, particularly experiences where you've been able to show leadership or being able to solve problems. That might be through previous employment, but it might also be through voluntary work or work that you have done as part of your school career. We are looking for people who can demonstrate inclusive attitudes, who are willing to embrace diversity and keen to work with people who are in vulnerable situations and at times of crisis. So we're interested to hear about your communication skills, perhaps about the experiences that you've had in caring for others, and also that you have some understanding of the role of paramedics. And that might mean that you have spoken with or spent some work experience time with the ambulance service. But most of all, we're really keen to hear from people who are willing to rise to a challenge and who are good communicators. So information about that in your supporting statement is very important. Access to the programme will be dependent on a successful interview. Once the programme team have had a chance to look at your application form, you may be invited for an interview day. The interview day is an opportunity to see around the university, and you will participate in a number of activities, usually as part of a group. The interview is an opportunity for us to get to know you and find out a little bit more about you and how you work within a group. But importantly, it's an opportunity for you to get to know us, and we see that you are interviewing us as much as we're interviewing you. So there's no need to get too anxious about that if you're invited for an interview. Before anyone is able to access the programme, they must have a satisfactory criminal record check. In Scotland, this is known as PVG, Protection of Vulnerable Groups. So you'll be asked to undertake that before coming onto the programme. We also recognise that because paramedics can work in challenging and hazardous environments, that you will be required to undergo occupational health in the early stages of the programme. Paramedics work in a wide range of contexts and in situations, and as you can see from the slide there, it may require a bit of moving, handling, being in tight spaces, or walking long distances. During the programme, we'll give you opportunities to experience some of these realistic situations, which will help you to recognise the demands on yourself of being a paramedic. It is important to be fit and healthy and be able to manage the demands of this role. So within the programme, we'll give you opportunity to experience some of these situations so that you can keep fit for practice. We will also offer you manual handling, training and preparation before you go on practice. While it's not essential that you have a driver's licence at the point of entering the programme, it's really important to note that in order to gain employment with the Scottish Ambulance Service once you graduate, that you will have to have a C1 element on your driver's licence. The C1 driver's licence allows you to drive a vehicle up to 7.5 tonnes, which is an ambulance. So we strongly recommend that at the point of entry to the programme that you hold a full driver's licence, and we will direct you to companies who can enable you to successfully achieve the C1 element before you complete the programme. Once you complete the programme, the Scottish Ambulance Service will teach you how to drive at speed and with a blue light. As I mentioned before, the periods of practice-based learning will be spent in areas of Edinburgh, the Lothian and Borders. So unfortunately, if you live in another area of Scotland, it will not be possible for us to arrange for you to undertake your practice-based learning more locally. This is because we have a contract with Scottish Government to deliver this programme for Edinburgh, Lothian and the Borders. During your time on placement, there will be three main areas where you will engage in practice-based learning. One of these is within the ambulance service. You will spend time with a practice educator in an ambulance, but also have opportunities to be in the control centre and to spend time with some of the specialist paramedics who work more autonomously in the service. In addition, we will arrange specialist NHS experiences for you to gain a wide range of the care of people at different stages of the lifespan. So that would include babies, infants, children, as well as specialism such as mental health, cardiology, intensive and critical care. Finally, we're very interested in helping paramedics to understand the ways that people live well, even with quite considerable complex issues in their life, and that one of the best places to do that is to learn through the work done by our voluntary, charitable and third sector organisations. So there will be an opportunity for you to develop a long-term working relationship with such an organisation over the 3 years of the programme. If you have any questions about course fees and funding opportunities, please can I ask you to check the QMU website where information about that is readily available. We also have a student financial officer at Queen Margaret University who will be happy to discuss with you any issues to do with course fees and funding. It's important to review the Student Awards Agency Scotland website, as that will have all the up-to-date information about your entitlement. It's very important for you to refer to this website, especially if you have studied already in Scotland, as there are certain regulations about the funding support you may be entitled to. During your time on the programme, there may be some expenditure that you will have to undertake. That might involve your purchase of books and other specialist resources, for example, a stethoscope. The PVG form that you're required to fill in at the beginning of the programme may also have expenditure associated with it. Further information about the programme can be gained online through our admissions email address, which is admissions@qmu.ac.uk. But also keep a little eye on our website. There is a Paramedic Science page on the link that I've highlighted below, and any new information will go up there. I hope that this has been a useful presentation for you, but please don't hesitate to get back to us if you have any further questions. Thank you very much.